In a hospital in Birmingham, a 16-year-old girl is still fighting for her life. The doctors have no idea if she can move or see or express herself in any of the 3 languages she mastered fluently. She has been under deep medication, and then one evening, a week after the shooting,
and I just opened my eyes in a hospital in Birmingham. I didn't know where I was.
She had this very frightened look in her eyes, and her eyes were darting back and forth.
She has tubes down her throat. So Dr. Kayani brings her an alphabet board. It is in English. And she points to letters. First the word country, and then the word father.
She wanted to know where her father was. She wanted to know who was going to pay for the medical treatment.
She was so worried about not being able to pay.
Every day for several days, who was paying? And she actually believed the reason her father wasn't there was either he was dead, was one of the possibilities in her head, or that he was back in Pakistan selling everything they own for her medical treatment.
Because the tube keeps her from speaking, Dr. Reynolds gives her a pink notebook so she can write her questions.
And then on the same day I wrote, my father have no money.
I told her that the Pakistan government was paying and she didn't believe me.
The days pass in a blur of confusion, pain. She is seeing double. She can hear nothing from her left ear, and the left side of her face doesn't move. In the pink notebook, she is writing, scrambling the letters, but there's something she wants to know urgently.
I have written like, who did this to me? Like, who did this to me? Why? Who shot me? And then what happened to me? I was asking Dr. Fiona.
Dr. Reynolds will not give patients traumatic news when they're still under medication. She says they simply relive it over and over again. But eventually with Malala, she knows she has no choice.
She was getting herself into a state, so I had to tell her the truth. And the truth was she'd been shot. She was asking me, was it a bomb? And I said, no, it was something bad. And she said, well, if it wasn't a bomb, what was it? So I said, you were shot. And she just looked at me. She didn't respond, she didn't react. She just looked at me. After a few moments, she said, it was the Taliban, wasn't it? And I said, I believe so, but I don't know for certain.
She asks for a mirror, and the teenager who used to worry about her tiny stature, her difficult hair, now says she looked and thought her hair was so small.
And I just looked at myself like this in the mirror, and then I just was thinking in my mind, like, the Taliban comes, they cut your hair, and then they shoot you. I thought they cut my hair. I didn't know like the doctors did it for the surgery.
In the pictures, you can see her face. The small dots are burns from the gunpowder. There are burns on her fingers too. That's how close the gun was.
You can see the black dots.
She's incredibly stoical. She had to have some sutures in her wound in her scalp, and she also had to have a needle to drain some infected fluid from her neck. And on both occasions, she didn't wince, she didn't cry, she didn't even squeeze my hand when they were sticking needles into her.
I didn't cry because now I totally changed after that incident. But I don't know how did I change. I don't know what happened to me.
But I have to say, who can do this? We all cry.
I was feeling that this is a new life.
But then, when her family enters the room, she falls apart.
When we entered the room, half of her facelift moved towards the right, and she lost her smile, her laughter.
It will be the only time she breaks.
When my father and mother came, it was the first time that I cried and I wept as much as I could. And it was a great moment for me.
And once again, her champion is her father. She relearns to walk, unsteady, because her inner ear has been destroyed. Part of her skull has been replaced with a titanium plate. And because of that severed nerve, the laughter is gone. Her face won't move.
So if you try and pout again for me, like that, and then say egg, 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 egg.
There's another surgery, 8.5 hours to try to reconnect the nerve on her face. She practices trying to smile every single day.
Okay, so I'll switch it on. It takes a few seconds.
And even though her eardrum is shattered forever, we're there when she gets the cutting-edge new technology, the cochlear implant.
It's on. I'm going to say the days of the week. Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
And when I heard it, I was feeling very happy. And I said, like, Malala, you have heard something in your left ear, and now it's getting better.
Her body is mending, but on the outside, everyone is wondering, what about her conviction? What about Malala's public voice?
What do you see ahead for her now?
I'm concerned that she's lost her ordinary life because she was a little girl from the Swat Valley who used to be able to play and have friends. And also she's been through so much. It was a very personal attack. And how do you cope with being targeted at the age of 15?
At the same time, in a distant corner of the globe, the Taliban are still sending messages, death threats, hatred.
I think life is always dangerous. Some people get afraid of it, some people don't go forward. But some people, if they want to achieve their goal, they have to go. The courage is still there. It's telling me to move forward.
She tells me she's decided death was just not ready for her yet.
I think death didn't want to kill me, and God was with me, and the people prayed for me.
And the people who had prayed for her, the people who had wondered about her, got their answer about her on her 16th birthday. There, at the United Nations, gathered in the hall dignitaries and children from around the world. Her father was there, and so was her mother, who for the first time let herself appear on camera. And walking up to the podium, it was the power of Malala again.
I am the same Malala.
I was thinking, is this the same daughter who was once almost killed? She's standing in UN, speaking to the whole world, and she's holding the flag of hope, the flag of peace. I was very proud.
Let us pick up our books and our pens. They are our most powerful weapons. Education is the only solution. Education first. Thank you.
Next, in search of answers, other voices on Malala.
I think she's not wise. I think she's a propaganda for the media.
Coming up.